Hello everyone, welcome to another Level Up with Aaron video, Gods of Olympus. Today I'm going to be making a video regarding the state of the game, Gods of Olympus. So as you can tell, if you've watched my other videos in the past, etc., or followed my channel, subscribed, etc., it's been a little while since I've done a video. There's a few key reasons why it's been a little while since I've done that video. I'll give them to you real quick. First of all, busy playing some other games, etc., family, all that good stuff. And then also because out of gems, as you can see in the upper right hand corner, and to be quite honest, the game has kind of gotten a little bit boring for me. I'm at the higher levels of the game, and really the only thing that has been that changes or is, I guess, new and somewhat engaging for a lot of players is the challenges. And while they're fun, they're not a big hit for me because I'm not a big fan of doing something over and over and over and over again until you succeed at it, which is what the challenges are good for. You basically, are competing against these other people, and they'll spend hours and hours and hours and hours fighting the exact same base, doing different tweaks to get the highest score they can. And that's not really my favorite type of activity to do. So usually on these challenges, when I participate, I'll only participate for a limited amount of time, maybe an hour or two. I'll put in my time, and then once I kind of hit a soft wall, I stop right there. I don't sit there and keep playing until I persevere and overcome the challenge level. So but yeah, today I want to kind of go over some overview of what I think that the game could do to really become more engaging. I'm still a huge fan of the category. I love base building games. I love the PvP game. So, like, basically, there's not a whole lot of competition out there in this particular market segment. I don't really know, if it's a big genre that's kind of highly sought after with the player base, especially a younger player base. I know Gods of Olympus kind of appeals a little bit more to an older crowd. I know it doesn't really appeal to a younger crowd. And it is once you get further in the game, obviously it does become redundant, but I like the strategy aspect of it. I would like to see a lot more tweaks and changes, and I'm kind of going to go through maybe my wish list or some of the ideas and changes I'd like to see in the game right now. I'm going to start with, well, first of all, I'm going to start with defense. Right now, the defense, as you can tell, even from my trophy ratings, there's a 500 trophy rating discrepancy between offense and defense cups, and that's pretty much true for most of the players out there. Their defenses are much higher than their offenses. So what that tells you is that the game is skewed. It's favoring offense right now. So that means that, bases that are your level, you should be able to easily beat, and you should probably be beating bases that are above your level because it's skewed in favor of offense. Hermes, when he came in, he really changed the game. He added his teleport ability, and that teleport ability is a game changer because it allows people to basically get two starting attempts at different sides of your base. So they can start and clear out one side of your base, and then regroup and go to another side of your base. So I'll kind of watch this guy's replay and analyze it here. Here we have very cool. So you can see this guy's 5 levels below me. So typically speaking, I'd like to see this game be where you struggle against bases that are 5 levels higher than you. And as of right now, you'll be able to watch this guy's attack. He doesn't really struggle. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Obviously with every given base, people learn routes and everything else. So, every base is beatable eventually, and the only way you can really have a good defense is to invest a bunch of stone or, constantly change it and tweak it, and hopefully those changes and tweaks you make a big difference. So there you go. You see he's already taken out a huge half of my base with his first 5 gods, and he's regrouped now. So now he can start over. And in this case, he doesn't even drop those 5 back in, but he could have dropped that 5 back in and taken out, probably these 2 temples down here, and then he would have had 7 out of 10 temples done with his first 5 gods. But in this case, he chose to drop his second lineup and actually he's including Hermes in his second lineup. So, Hermes added a lot of variation, a lot of different strategies, which is nice, which is good. It definitely needed that. If that ability wasn't included, then the game would probably be really stale right now. But that strategy regroup did add a nice, fun gameplay change to the game. But here we go. See, he's just easily walking through. So this is frustrating, as a design base building style game. Like, it's frustrating for designers to build bases because it feels like you're getting stomped, and the fact that I always tell people it doesn't matter, you're always going to lose because of the way the trophy system works, but it really depends on who you're losing to. So obviously losing to people lower level than you is very frustrating. You're like, oh, I should be able to beat people, I should be able to defend against people lower level than me. So I think the game is offense bias right now, and to me, the only time defense was fun was when assisting on defense was fun, and then they nerfed all the assist options. Every time a defensive troop came out that was good, the developers have nerfed it because people complained about the defense being too strong from the assists. But that's really the feature that sets this game apart from any other game out there in this category, is that you can help your teammates, your alliance mates in real time. So that one feature is huge, and I think that the developers would be in best interest to take advantage of that feature as it sets it apart, and by doing so, they can really kind of distinguish their game even further. But we'll see if that changes or not in coming updates. They can always make defensive assists more fun, because right now assisting, it isn't as fun as it used to be. You gotta basically encourage people to assist. Otherwise your feature that sets you apart from everybody else just kind of gets ignored. Uh, and the assisting kind of comes and goes as far as within alliances. Like my alliance will get real active at night, and a bunch of people will play together, and we'll even do voice chat. So that the social aspect of helping people out in real time is a positive thing. Now let me talk about offense a little bit. So right now, when you attack, there's different strategies because of Hermes, which is great. But I think that what they really should do, they need to bring out a whole lot more gods and a whole lot faster, and limit the number of gods you can bring to battle. So right now, every time they've added a god, they've just expanded your god lineup. By changing it to be just a limited number of gods at the start, you can really grow your lineup, from being 10 different gods to being 20 different gods. I'm pretty sure, the thing that's most appealing to people when it comes out is new gods, right? And actually, as far as a revenue generation tool, it's got to be their biggest revenue generator is when they put it out a new god, because people were rushing to get that new god. So developers should really speed up. Right now, I think they're basically putting out one new god a year, maybe, and I think they could do that at least every 6 months. I think that'd be a good target. You don't want to oversaturate, but you don't, I think that they could definitely increase that. And then that brings in the new challenge of, okay, we've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 gods. Do we want 14 gods doing one battle? No, probably not. Unless something changed massively in the game format. So my suggestion actually is to reduce the number of playable gods you can bring into battle. This will force players to really get creative with their strategy. And, instead of having, 10 gods and doing all that, now you got to pick 5 gods and maybe complement each other. Maybe you could have different lineups. And when you see a base, you actually pick between A, B, or C lineup depending on the layout. You're like, oh, this looks like a good base for me to go, full Zerg, and go full burst damage. Or maybe this base looks like a good base for me to kind of walk around because it's very spread out, etc. I do think they should increase the map size as well. Right now, there's players that are the only real big spenders in this game, and that's a big complaint from them, is that their bases are like crammed in, like they have nowhere else to build, and they've already, like, take this kitten for example. She's got every single building pretty much in her base is just about max. So at that point, when you have every single building maxed, and I mean, the only way she can really put more resources into her base is if she starts building more towers, because houses actually cap out a lower dollar or a lower cost than towers do. So towers cap out at a more expensive cost. So like a really expensive base resource wise would be full towers. But is that an effective base? No, it isn't an effective base. You can look at the developer base of Zeus. It's all towers and it's easy to beat. So that's kind of another negative on defense, is that defense towers don't really do anything in this game. It's really only just defensive troops that make a difference in your battles, not defensive towers. Defensive towers need a buff across the board. Defensive monuments need a buff across the board. I just think defense needs a buff, and they're going to say people are going to complain if defense is buffed, but it's all relative, so they'll get used to the new norm. I guess as long as they don't rage quit, but hopefully they've got enough time invested and the information is disseminated and people can kind of really understand why. But I know the developers, I believe, are working on some new things to the game. They advertised that they were going to be coming out with Alliance Wars. I think that would be a nice big pro to the game if they introduce Alliance Wars. Hopefully that comes out sooner than later, because like I said, I mean, these days for me, level 119, I mean, my original goal has always been to max out my gods, because I knew that defensive maxing is almost near impossible, or it's possible, but then there's changes you can make by adding more towers, etc., and your top end becomes unlimited. But maxing out gods was always my goal to start the game, and I'm getting closer and closer to doing that. But like I said, there's no motivation for me to do the challenges, or no motivation for me to do the dailies, the daily challenges or the weekly challenges, unless you have gems. And then gems, of course, require you to spend money. And I'm pretty much a free to play player. I'm not a big fan of pay to win or pay to play. I mean, I know you can play this for free and not do the challenges, but now that they're out there and people are so used to them, I mean, if I feel like I'm losing out if I don't do them, and so it's like it makes me feel bad for not having gems, but not having gems, means I'd have to spend money, and like I said, so it's a conflict of interest for me between the two items. Like, I don't like to spend, but then I don't like to miss out on deals, so I feel like, I'm at a push pull, but that's probably just a personal problem there. But anyways, I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful that they'll make some changes. Like I said, there's some features about this game. I've been playing this game since it came out. I've probably in the past 6 months, I've barely been on. You can see my battle log. I don't know how long it resets or how many days it resets. My defense log is 3 days. My attack log here, I've done one attack in 3 days. And let me see, I think even my activity donating. Oh yeah, I donated 15 hours ago. But I probably log on just to collect my resources here and collect my treasure chest and then log off. But I'm hopeful, that they'll make some changes to this game. Hopefully they're getting good feedback, from all the people and taking these good tips and advice and implementing them into the game. Everybody who plays it, wants to see it get better and grow. I mean, it's got a good core gameplay. Like I said, they need more variety in the game, more gods, maybe more towers. I know they're bringing more towers in. More skins. I think more skins are a great way for people to personalize their gameplay experience, and I don't think it's a bad thing to keep increasing the skins. I think that could be a good revenue generator for them. I think it's pretty easy in-game fix, and then people can really custom tailor. Look at games like Fortnite. All the kids are just into the skins, right? So if you can really make some cool, fun skins, I think that'll really appeal to the younger crowd, and get them more involved in the game. And then, find some other ways to really kind of, personalize or draw in some other people, because I don't know if the game's really growing. I mean, I don't think people are spending as much, but I don't have statistics on that. So development's kind of slow, so hopefully the game doesn't die. But who knows? I guess it just depends on which direction the developers choose to go, and what games people are playing these days. But Anyways, I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you guys know where I was at, and share some feedback with what I thought the state of the game was, and hopefully, we'll see some changes in the future. All right, thanks for tuning in. Keep leveling up.